I welcome you to the weekly masterclass with us. So, before I introduce you with today's speaker, would like to understand that why we do this every week because we are live streaming this across platforms. So, Juno School of Business has been started to help sales professional with foundational and advanced level courses. And one thing we understood is that definitely the gap is there in the market where people don't get access to industry leaders to learn from their experience. And that's why we have been continuously for the last 1.5 years inviting industry leaders to share their experience so that everyone who is in sales or looking forward to sharpen their sales skills can learn from the industry experts, right? Would like to share the upcoming speakers before we get started with Mr. Mukherjee. Just allow me a moment. Yeah. So this is a schedule till end of November. We have Mr. Abhijeet Mukherjee with us today, and post him we'll have Mr. Piyush, who is the director at sales at Rephrase AI. We'll have Sachi, who is the customer success manager at LinkedIn. Ms. Jyoti Bharadwaj, who is the founder of TFIT. She has been on Shark Tank as well. And then we have Mr. Raghavan Mukund, who is the author of Don't Sell, Make Them Buy. So this is the schedule for the next 1 month. So definitely a lot of exciting people out there who will be sharing the experience. So please do register for the events when we share it across all our social media platforms. And yeah, that would be it from my end. So wanted to first of all thank Mr. Mukherjee for accepting our invitation for this masterclass, sir. Thank you so much for that, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me for this. I look forward.
Yes, sir. So, for everyone who has not seen Sir's profile, so Mr. Mukherjee has worked with organizations like Monster, Hindustan Coca-Cola Beverages, Unilever, and has a great career. And right now, he is the partner at the Sherpas. Will not definitely take much time to introduce him because I'll hand it over to him to give his brief introduction, and then we can get started with how he has thrived for the last 4 decades and in such a successful manner, right? It's a great lesson for everyone out here because I am in my 7th year of my career, and definitely 40 years seems like a daunting task for me right now. So I personally look forward to this session. So sir, over to you.
Thank you. So, Ronit, I'll share the screen first.
Yeah, please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Can you see it?
I can see the yeah, I can see, yeah, it's a full screen now.
So, good afternoon. I think we are at 12 o'clock now. So, it's thank you, Ronit, and thank you, Tarun, for inviting me to speak on this subject, on a topic which is very dear to me. Uh, when I was talking to Tarun and Ronit, I was thinking, wondering what to talk to you all about. I have a lot of experience in sales. I've spent more than 2, 3 decades in sales. I've been lucky to work with a lot of companies like Hindustan Unilever, where I started off my sales career. Was there for 14 years. Was with Coca-Cola for 5, 6 years. Was in a telecom major for 5, 6 years. And then I was the CEO for Monster.com, where we spoke about job opportunities, and about so I was responsible for India, culturally outside few countries, South Asian countries, Gulf countries, etc. So I know Tarun for a while. We were competitors in the market, but we were good friends also. Uh, so most of my career, in the initial part of my career, has been sales and marketing and a bit of consulting. And later on has been for the last 10 decades in years, as the CEO of this company. And then I have been consulting for a few years. So was wondering what to talk to you about. A lot of people, a lot of experts I could see are talking to you about sales, and I've come and spoken to you about sales. we can keep it for some other day. What I thought I'll share with you today is something uh, which is which will help you thrive for the next 30, 40 years. You are doing this course at the Juno School of Business. When you pass out from here, it will be the beginning of your career. Most of us, whether we get into business or we get into start our own business or we join a company, we'll be working for the next 30, 45 years, right? And to be successful for the next 35, 40 years, there have been some lessons which I thought I'll share with you from my own experience. Hopefully, will help you to have a successful career. We all know in today's world that whether you start a business or you join an organization, your career will outlive that experience. You cannot, if you are if you're in a work life for 35, 40 years, that business will definitely undergo a change, or that company will definitely undergo a change. I was in a telecom company, and that company, although we were doing phenomenally well, that company went out of business, right? If you start a business, I know a lot of my business friends, after a certain 10 years, 15 years, they had to change the business line because they went out of business, either due to competition or whatever, right? So is that fine? Is that the context is okay, Ronit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I said thriving 4 decades of work life after you pass out from your colleges, right? How do you survive this? I think the first one is never stop dreaming. Never stop dreaming. Money. You should have a passion, and you should make a beginning. A lot of time we have passion, but we don't make a beginning. But always have a dream for yourself. When I started off my career, I took on maths because the maths teacher was good, right? Better than the biology teacher. And I thought I'll have a career in engineering, etc. I know a lot of people who call me up even today after they have done their IIT, etc. So what to do? I mean, I think if they have spent so much time preparing for IIT exams and then get going through the IIT exams, after doing exams, they'll speak. They say, "What should I do?" Then I ask them, "Why did you do this?" They'll say, "Because my mother asked me, or my peers asked me, or because this is what I felt." So a lot of people I know today who do the engineering, become engineering, and then they start thinking what to do, what careers to take, what career to take. But in today's world, fortunately, we are more aware. We have more access to a lot of media. We have access to more information, etc. So it helps us to make a career. During our time when I started off my career a long time ago, we had friends and we had some mentors, and we just saw what others are doing, and what we thought it was either you become an engineer or a doctor or a chartered accountant, and those are the careers that we could think of, right? I didn't do biology because the biology teacher was a bad teacher compared to the maths teacher. So that's how I decided my career. My father also was not a doctor, so obviously I couldn't become a doctor. I did my engineering. I went and joined a company, was in the production for a while. And after that, I didn't enjoy the factory shop floor. I think that was not my passion, right? Then I came across my cousin who was teaching in one of the IIMs. She said, "Why don't you study for IIM?" I didn't think I could make it to the IIM, but anyway, I gave it a shot. Lucky to do it. So there are a couple of learnings here. First, have a dream. Have a dream that I can make it to IIM. I had a dream that can I join HLM. I had a dream, can I join Coca-Cola? Have a dream. Whether it is a moonshot or whatever it is, have a dream. Because that will guide you towards that direction. And then pursue passion. Think what will excites you. uh, in the initial stages you will not know, so you will have to do a lot of experiments, whether sales is a career, whether marketing is a career, whether commercial is a career, whatever is a career, you will have to do some experiments quickly and then figure out what to do. Have, if you are lucky, have some mentors, like my sister was, an elder cousin sister was my mentor, or later in my life, for example, when I was in leavers, Nitin Paranjpe was one of my mentors. He is currently the chairman of HUL and the CHRO Unilever Worldwide. On various parts, various times of your life, you have a mentor. Mentor, who is a mentor? A mentor is a person who, in a very when you are in a traffic jam, they tell you which direction to go, what way to go. They show you a way to reach your direction. So have a mentor, have a passion. Uh, and money cannot be a passion. Money is important, but money, just making money, cannot be a passion, right? So do something, and then you don't have to work as they say, then you don't have to work forever, right? Let's take example of Tarun here, right? Tarun has he pursued a passion. He passed out from an IIM, but he didn't take up a job, and he pursued his passion here, build such a wonderful company, IIM Jobs, right? And then he's again doing this passion. So you have to be successful. If you're successful, we keep on doing what the passion is. You will always have fears. When I started off, I always used to wonder whether I can do well in a sales marketing job. If you were to interact with me, I'm not that kind of a personality. In fact, in my very earlier in my career, I was quite an introvert. I used to think I cannot be an Eureka Forbes salesman. I can't sell you a comb to a person who is bald, or I cannot sell a fridge to a person who in an Eskimo, right? And I always thought I cannot make it a salesperson. But when I joined Levers, I had an opportunity to become an ASM there. I learned so many things, and I really enjoyed the sales career, right? And today, if I have grown as a person and in my career, it is because of the sales marketing career. I was lucky to handle all the brands of levers of South India. I was lucky to handle Coca-Cola brands in South India, North India. I was head of national sales of head of telecom, etc. Every stint I made. And then when I took on the CEO roles, it was always in sales-focused organization. Even today, like yesterday itself, I was talking to some companies and they were talking about how to do sales, etc. So I really enjoyed sales, right? And uh, and I think it was a calling which I got it, and I really enjoyed. So therefore, never stop dreaming, never pursue your passion, whatever your passion. Find out your passion, do experiment, and make a beginning. A lot of people keep thinking, करना है करना है before trying also they give up. That's not the way to make it. Make a beginning. I tried in production, I tried myself in consulting, etc., but sales is where it was my calling at that point of time, and I then really developed on it. So that's the first thing. Never have I always have a dream and have a mentor if possible. The next one, continuous learning. This has been always be relevant, that you will be paranoid of uh, that you will become irrelevant, right? Today is the world of internet, right? AI, ML, generative AI, data science, etc. The buzzwords, right? In 2017, Goldman Sachs in US, they had 600 traders. They replaced them by 200 computer engineers, right? So your job will become irrelevant because those computers, those people, uh, they are looking at the new skill, new technology, etc. It will get disrupted, right? So you always be paranoid, always have a continuous learning, right? Uh, I was working with Levers for 14 years and Coca-Cola. A lot of people asked me, why did I leave those great companies? Why did I move on, right? At some point of time, I thought everything was coming very easy, and I was not learning. I was doing the same things. Things were happening very easily, right? So then I started becoming little, agitated. I wanted to do something new. I wanted to be a head of P&L, and I realized that if I continue to be in these organizations, I'll never, it'll take a while to become a P&L head. Right? So I moved on and I joined other companies where I could use the experiences, the learnings which I had in these great companies to achieve. So always be paranoid. Always think that always try to learn, always have understand what is your learning style, understand where you learn from. Do you learn by listening? Do you learn by experience? Do you learn by reading, etc.? But always continue to be learning for it. And I think experience comes through working hard, working in the in Hindustan Lever, it was given as an ASM. that I had to be 5 days or 4 days at least in the field every week. I cannot be in the office. I had to meet my customers. I had to be team. I had to be in the market. This is how continuously learn. When you get into the market, it will not come through sitting in the office. So you continuously learn and be prepared for all the things which will come in the form of learning. Learn from everybody. Continuously learn from it. Always think big. Always think that you will have to play the World Cup. Don't prepare yourself for playing the Ranji Cup. Prepare yourself for playing the World Cup, right? And always think, always be the best in the learning and move on. Sometimes in your career, you will have to make a choice as you grow up, whether you want to be a specialist in sales or you want to get into a general manager in PNL. You want to be a CEO, you want to be a vice president, EVP, sales, etc. So make those choices at that point of time. And therefore, if you have an end goal in mind, you will continue to learn in that direction. Right? Those are very, very important. So always be paranoid that what you are doing, it will get irrelevant. And some technology will overtake you, the industry will overtake you, something will happen. So if you wake up every day, every week I read a book, right? So in that sense, continuously run. Uh, Next one. And just continuing on that, there are learning cycles. I mean, I am lucky. I have interviewed a lot of people, a lot of senior people. I've been CEOs, etc., very senior people. We were asked to. And one of the things which you ask a person, a lot of people come and say, I have 10 years of experience, I have 15 years of experience. So is it 15 years of experience or 1 year repeated 15 times? Is it what 10 years of experience or 1 year repeated 10 years, right? So you will have to, when you are interviewing senior people or any people, you will have to find out what kind of experience that person has. Gone are the days where you stayed in one company, right? My father worked in one company, one private sector company for his entire life. I've already worked in 5, 6 companies. So you will never be in one company. So earlier loyalty was important, but if you want to stay relevant for the next year, you have to develop competencies, skill sets, talent itself in that way. Please remember that you have talent, but you can only be the best if you put in that effort, right? A lot of people, it is they don't show it, but they have to put in a lot of effort to be expert in it. Uh, in the first part of our careers, we are all successful, right? In the first 15, 20 years, we are very successful. Everybody gets a lot of money as you pass out from Juno school, as you pass out from any place. You will get into organizations, you will be successful, you will be happy, you will make a lot of money. But as you grow up after 15, 10, 15 years, if you are in a company, the pyramid becomes sharp, right? And if you are not ready for that next position, if you have not prepared yourself for the next part of your career, you will lose out. I know, especially in that IT sector, a lot of people at age 40, they have reached the peak of their careers, right? Because at age 40, they have been doing the same thing in which they started off their career. Now, a lot of people with newer skill set, more energy, half the salary is there. And in age 40, they all start calling us. Abhi kahin pe le lo, sir, I've got 15, 20 years, some other company, etc., etc. So after age 40, if you have not reinvented yourself, if you have not added skills to yourself, you will find it difficult to move to the next level, right? Experience comes through making hand dirty. Again, I will come back to this. And experience, you might learn, a lot of people say you get experience by reading books, etc. I believe that unless you jump into the pool, unless you swim, you will not get experience, right? You cannot read, you cannot learn swimming by reading a book. You have to jump and get that experience, that confidence which comes when you're facing some 400, 500 sales team members, you're asking or solving an issue for the sales team members, when you're addressing such a large team of thousands of people. Get that experience when you work in the market, right? Uh, and experience need not always be good. So I have my best learnings when my experience was very bad. So when I was not doing well, then you're forced to get into details. Then you're forced to get into the last mile, last detail, and then figure out. what is to be done. In Hindustan Liver, for example, there was one ASM and his area was not doing well. I went into his area, realized that he didn't work the market, realized that he didn't enjoy sales. He wanted a consulting career, right? So we realized, we all jointly agreed, and then he moved on and has a successful career since then. So you have to get down into detail. If a market is not doing well, into a area not doing well, you will have to get into details and work with it. That's on when the team starts to respect you. And never quit in the midst of a big learning cycles. In your career, you will always come across opportunities. Sometimes you will feel this is a very difficult phase. I should leave and join another company, etc. Those are the big learning opportunities, right? So I'll tell you, in levers, we were when I was heading sales in South India, we had an entire turnaround, right? We had to merge Brook Bond Lipton India business with HLL business, and we were losing market shares at the same time, and we realized that we were not externally focused, we were more internally focused, and we had to orient the outlook of our team to an externally focused on the customers, focused on the traders, etc. We did that and we achieved that transformation. But at that point of time, it was very difficult, right? And you're trying to, I was in the telecom company, I was asked to close some 5 circles, and it was a very difficult phase when you're going and closing circles, right? Because we had to be EBITDA positive and leading that cross-functional team, talking to the people. It was not an easy job. But you learn from that. Learn so much from that. You build resilience, you build your maturity, how you tackle empathy, etc. All those skills comes to you when you work on it. A lot of people want to start their career as a analyst, right? And they want to get into a computer environment and soft, pushy analyst job, etc. It is good to do it for a while. But if you have an ambition to become a CEO, if you have an ambition to become a head of sales, you will have to get your. So this is my learning. I might be old school, uh, much older than many of you. My experience must be much bigger than many of you here. But that is my way of thinking, and I think a lot of people whom I know as currently a CEO, etc., have gone through that journey as well. So it is therefore very important that uh, you spend quality learning time. All right, you be ready to take up extra challenges beyond your functions and roles when you get an opportunity to do that. Spend time in taking up extra projects, etc. So when the time will come for selection, you might be chosen for that role, right? I have always found that helpful. I mean, always done things which was demanded beyond my current routine. And then when the choice came and things people were looking at senior people, senior profiles, etc., they choose you, right? Um, it is very competitive in that world, even in an organization, right? As I said, the pyramid becomes very small. Ronit, is this okay, or shall we? If people have questions, they can ask, or am I going
Yeah,
very fast, very
no, no,
slow?
no, no, sir. Completely at a very calm and composed pace. So we are very happy with the pace right now. If anyone has a question, they can raise their hand, and I'll manage the chat as well. So I can always come back to you and interject in between. So you can continue with your
Chats are
presentation,
there.
sir.
I don't know what are they.
Chat as in no chat as of now, which is relevant for anyone,
Us,
you or
okay.
sir.
Okay.
So you can continue. Okay. So one person called Jerry. Jerry has raised his hand. So if you're comfortable, we can take his question.
Sure, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry, please go ahead.
Great. How are you? Thank you for sharing your experience with us. So right now I'm in a dilemma. So I have started up my own software company and I'm head of the sales over there. So I'm responsible for the sales and marketing. Now, starting up with a software company, one challenge that we are facing right now is that It's a new software company. Nobody have been using those kind of software before in their business processes. Now, how do we get customers? How should I approach? How should I get my hands dirty? Because I tried going couple of times to the office of the customer, but right, they usually say that they are busy right now, come back later on. And then there are some customers where I pitch them the idea, they really like the idea, they hear me out, I give them information about the product, how it will benefit them. And then after a couple of days, they just ghost me. That means they do not respond back. So what do you think I should do in those situations? How should I improve my sales?
Uh, you want me to answer that, Ronin? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
Please go ahead.
Jerry, also mentor for startups as a partner with Paddock Ventures. So where we advise a lot of startups get funding from the government, etc., to go to market. Chief mentor there. So this is the kind of problem that most startups face, right? And I believe that you should always start a startup with the customer in mind. You should always be solving a problem which is urgent, which is required by the customer. 9 out of 10 times people start with an idea or a product and then they try to sell to a customer. When you are a customer, you have to first go and talk to that customer, find out what his problem is, what his needs are, and then make your product to solve that problem. And then you have the first customer because you're solving his problem, right? So that's how you make a product market fit, and then you go and scale it up. But if you start with the other way around, it's not that you cannot make a business. You can. It will be a long journey. You'll have to go and meet many customers. You have to continuously understand their needs and satisfy their needs. I will only buy when I know that your product is solving a need, right? I will not buy if you are just trying and telling me that you are great, right? I don't know your solution. I already have a solution. Why should I change it, right?
We
We can get into this debate for a full session also, Rohit. We will
I
discuss it,
understand.
Jerry. If the answer doesn't satisfy you, we'll take it offline. Let's continue with the presentation. I have 3, 4 slides more to share.
Sure.
Yes. Thank you.
I don't know whether I solved your question, but just think over it. You should always start with the customer, right? Why did you do this startup? Because you're solving a customer's problem. What
Yeah.
Now, let's proceed with the presentation, sir, and then we can
Yes.
take the questions.
Soft skills. It is not only important to have a good understanding of your domain skill or a multiple of domain skill, but it is very important to have soft skills. And as you grow up the ladder, these becomes more important, right? How to manage, how to be a leader, what is a leader? There are so many kinds of leaders. Yeah? You have a Donald Trump, you have a leader like Obama, you have leaders, business leaders, you have, so what kind of leader you should have, what leadership styles works, what leadership style you should be good in leader. You should be good in change management, right? You should be comfortable with ambiguity. So you are moving, you're transitioning from being a manager to a leader, right? Soft skills are very, very important. And as you say that critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, communication, these are some skills which are very important. And these are skills, please remember, these are not knowledge. Knowledge theory is there, but these come through practice. This comes through how you are doing it on a day-to-day basis, how you are dealing with people within your organization, in your personal life, and every time. So you're all the time learning, right? And you are building teams. In Hindustan Unilever, for example, let me take, when we were hiring a sales executive, not even an ASN, used to take 2 days to hire. So not only a person will put them in a group situation with get them select as case studies or whatever it is, and we will observe them. me and my senior colleague, two of us, or maybe the HR, we will observe them, because we had a set of competencies or values or things which was important to be part of the Hindustan Lever team, right? Sales team. So you have to understand, you observe them over a period of time. One day, next day, you have one-to-one interviews, etc. You understand their domains, strength, what they have done till now, etc., etc., and then take a call. So it was very important because one hire is important and very important. How you hire people. So soft skills are very, very important. We used to see very important in early in the life of a salesperson, whether that person had a knack for soft skills or not, right? How he interacted with other people in a group, how was his group interaction, was it a teamwork, etc. All of this. And I believe, and I strongly believe these things have really helped me become a better person. Every day I learn, every day I become a better person, both in professional and personal life, right? You make friends for life in sales, right? As you say. So it is not important that you spend evenings with your sales team and have drinks with them to become a friend. But yeah, a lot of people think that that is what is needs to be done, but that's not the thing. You do your work, you demonstrate yourself as a leader, and I think you do well. So as we get when we start our career, many times in a B2B situation or in a call center situation or things like that, we are individual contributors. Right? And as you start handling more teams, as you start handling, you become a manager, all these things you will become very, very critical. And finally, sales and any organization game is a team game, right? Is not you're not an athlete or you're not a tennis player where Roger Federer himself has to improve, right? As you grow up in an organization, you're playing a team game. Therefore, soft skills are very, very important. And this becomes many more interesting as you work with teams across the country, right? Or across nations. And everybody has their own cultural challenges, way they look at things, and you have to be sensitive. Right? We go on. I can see a lot of
Yes,
chats
sir.
coming in.
Yes, sir. There is a question, but we can take it up during the
Or
Q&A.
later. Okay.
Yeah.
This is a learning which I had from a very interesting book called Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen. I read it first time when I read it, I didn't understand. I read it after a few years, some things understood. I read it again, and then I took classes for my sales team, right? So take one habit at a time, and then I explain. So when you learn maximum when you teach something, right? When you tell about it, you absorb the things, etc. This is very important in life. And I think when I joined ASL, for example, the telecom company where I worked, ASL, I was the CEO for the second largest revenue circle. I found everybody, the sale was stagnant for a while, everybody blaming everyone, right? Uh, and we were not the top three. We were the newest operator. We didn't have the spectrum, we didn't have the towers, we didn't have the budgets, we didn't have advertising budget, and everything was a problem was there. And every department was blaming the other. The operations team, the tower team will blame the marketing team will blame the sales team, and everybody was blaming each other. And everybody was playing the victim card, and everybody was blaming the world. So the first thing which I came and said, "Ki boss, we will not talk about what is not in our place. We will talk on what we have, right? So first thing, we will not in our meetings will ever discuss that what we don't have. So everybody will only we will only share what is within my sphere of influence. There is a sphere of concern. We are all concerned what Burma is doing, what US is doing, what Russia is doing, what Ukraine is doing, but I cannot do anything about it. What I can do is within my sphere of influence. So I'll start working on my sphere of influence. In a very commoditized market like a telecom, we found out a strategy to grow. And for the next 3 years, we were the industry fastest growing leader. The industry recognized us that we can do a massive change. Right? We identified who our customers are, where they are residing, and we did a lot of work, and we'll share one day that would really turn around the circle. And all of us started enjoying. Success beat success. And a lot of people started coming in. Uh, People started joining us. And we turned around the circle. We became profitable. We didn't have 3G, 4G, but we became EBITDA positive. So I always keep telling people that not many people, everybody is not born in an Ambani family, right? Or so we never will have three aces in our hand. So we will always have any cards will be dealt in our life, and we will have to figure out how do we maximize ourselves, right? So you will in sales, this will always happen. You will never feel success every day. You will knock on 10 doors and 9 doors will close on you. But you will have to figure that out. You cannot lose motivation. You cannot lose. Learn from it and go back and again try, etc. So you have to win in life. You have to figure out a strategy to win in life. You have to figure out how you do well in life, right? I think all these, as I said, mention as you grow in your life, as you go through various companies, you gain this experience. Large companies, etc. They don't therefore keep you, especially in a sales function, they never keep you in a place if you're more than 2 or 3 years, right? They keep changing. And you have to be prepared for that. I mean, I went through 8, 9 cities, etc. and all of that. Always focus on your strength. Remember that. I mean, when you're choosing your strategy, etc., remember what your strengths are, understand what you are, and focus on your strength. I think never ever have a victim mentality. Sorry, ye nahi ho raha, that's not happen. I cannot do it. I will not do it. These are things of people who are given up. The person is talking more about his past achievements or is always having excuse or blaming the past. I think beyond a point you can stop. You can cut that out and start focusing on what you can do, how you make your change, and gradually increase your circle of influence. So always play to win. If you are in a sales function or any career, sales is such a wonderful function. So if you are in a sales function or any other function, always play to win as a team, right? Does that make sense, Ronit?
Yes, completely, sir.
Or am I going too much theory
No,
and
no, no, no. No, sir. Please share your more of your experience. Would love to hear your days at Unilever, ASL, and Coca-Cola, right? So please,
uh,
we would love to hear those anecdotes.
so another example, I mean, when I joined Monster, I mean, we are lost out to IM jobs, we are lost out to etc. Everybody will come and keep blaming, right? Paisa nahi, paisa nahi. Or they will ask for the moon. They will say, I want to give me 100 crore or 200 crore. You don't have that, right? As a business. Figure out, you push them, you have to ask them, you have to do within your resources, how you change them, culturally change them, how you uh, what are the products you go after, how you go after. So you as a leader will have to continuously learn and then guide and how do you learn? As you learn from different domains, function, you go and talk to the people, you go and talk to the leaders, you always get ideas. Any? Uh, this is very important, and I think this is probably my last chart. Uh, Right on time. Uh, so principles are paramount. And what are principles? I don't saying that if you want to succeed in the long term, if you want to succeed for 40 years in your life, 35 to 40 years in your life, right? You want to work till the age 70, 50, 65, 60, whatever you decide, or 45, 50, whatever. You have to have certain principles in life. This was the biggest learning you get from working in large organizations like Labor, etc. Play for the long term. When I say principles, I don't mean principles like being honest or not cheating, etc. These are given. I mean, you cannot cheat, right? Then you will lose your job the next day. Uh, but what I mean by principles are understanding this. Um, like you have to believe that people are there for teamwork. People have capabilities. Respect people. Promote teamwork. Think long term and short term. Use data for analysis. Some principles, some basic principles how you work, right? You believe in people. You believe that people will make a change. So these principles company comes first, right? A lot of people come and say, I'm not doing well, get an increment, etc. If the company is not done well, how will you get it? All these basic principles have to be in place as you grow up in your career, and you have to practice them. You cannot say something, you cannot come late to office and expect your team members to come on time. Or you cannot do things and not walk the talk. Even when you are not talking or interacting with dating, they are observing all the time. So in this very changing world where you don't have data, when you don't have all the information to take decisions, right? Uh, Constantly changing world, what we call as VUCA world, right? You will have to figure out, have these principles, the first principle, take decisions. And so many times in the career, you have to choose what you do. Then you decide that customers first, right? You start listening to the customer first. Then you get a sense. Some things are very, very important. You cannot say that I'll do things I don't believe in the customer. वो customer को समझ में नहीं आता, right? The customer doesn't understand anything. The customer is difficult and all. Those are not given. Customer is the paramount. Customer is the king, right? They will be demanding, right? And you will have to fulfill that. You have to tell it to them. Or, I can tell you, even brands like Coca-Cola or brands absolutely Lifebuoy, large brands. It is not that you just go and people buy it, right? Everyone, as sales people, you have to grow on your base. तो आपको grow करना होगा. A lot of people come and say कि when you are in liver or coke, you don't have to sell anyway. People will buy the brand. ऐसा नहीं होता. You will have a base there. People would have before you would have done something, and you have to grow on that. You have a growth number. It's a challenge. Sales, you have to just focus on the customer. You have to think team. You as leaders, you build trust, right? Trust is extremely important. Mm. And a lot of people think that they can lie and get away, but lying will take you not very far. I mean, first time when you have not done well, if you say the truth, it is easier. ये एक बार डांट पड़ता है. After, if you keep on lying, you will have to continuously lying, and one time you will get caught, right? So I think these principles are very, very critical as you grow up the ladder. These are softer skills. People who have stayed, become leaders who are icons today. For example, Suresh Narayanan or whatever it is, and you Nestle, etc. They are icons. So, we have learned from them so much, and they continue to inspire. And this is because they are principles. They are long-term leaders, right? Uh, so, so I don't know whether I'm making sense, but when I started my career, these didn't make sense to me. As you grow up, as you experience these soft things makes a lot of sense.
It
Principles are
makes a
very,
lot of it makes a lot of sense, sir, even today, right?
yeah.
And we'll keep doing that.
So I'll just summarize. Uh, First thing is never stop dreaming. Never, never, ever stop dreaming. Always have a dream. And if you dream, I will climb Aravallis, you will climb Aravallis. If you dream, I'll climb Everest, I'll climb Everest. I'm a partner with the Sherpas. We think we are Tenzings. We help people become Hillaries, right? So we help people go up that ladder. So pursue your passion. Always figure out. And how do you identify what is a passion? Is something which excites you, which you look forward to, which doesn't tire you out. You look forward to the Mondays, right? And you don't look forward to Fridays. So something which excites you, which keeps you awake, and if you can find your passion and then work for it, I think you will succeed and you will do well. It is much easier to do Excel, and you cannot, and you have to be smart enough to look at your passion. I mean, if you have a passion like collecting stamps, etc., those are good passions to have, but they don't have an economic model, right? You have to have an economic model which will drive that passion, right? You can get a passion which the customers want, if you get a passion which makes economic, etc., you will get up. I mean, there's a lovely book I read the other day on Ikigai, and somebody, you all must have read about it. I have a vision in life, right? Have a passion in life. Continuously learn, be paranoid of getting irrelevant. I mean, this is given. If you don't continuously learn, you will be irrelevant. I mean, this is such a fast moving world. We didn't have mobiles when we started off our life. And now we can't think of staying without mobiles, right? And sales has really undergone so much of changes, right? Um, learning cycles, learning cycles, get meaningful experience. Don't lose out on a learning cycle. A lot of people try to leave and go for a better job. If it is a it going gets difficult, right? You imagine that you're learning the maximum, right? And then put yourself in, dig your head, go through that learning cycle. Don't quit in the learning cycle. It will always help you. And very few opportunities come in your life when you have to learn cycles. Soft skills are important, as I said. As you grow up in your ladder, as you transition from the first phase to the second phase of your career, soft skills as you become managers, as you become leaders, etc. These will make that difference, right? In your way. Focus and expand your circle of influence. A lot of in life and every day. Yesterday also a lot of people said, yeah, nahi hai, wo nahi hai, ye nahi hai." I mean, they will continuously focus on what they will just victim it. You're not a victim. You have to take charge of. And finally, principles are paramount. You can reach a certain level by having some climbing over some shoulders, etc. In the long term, remember, as a leader, you need to inspire people. People need to follow you and not your chair, right? And therefore, they should respect you, they should follow you, and principles, and you can then drive an organization. All the time, organization is only handling politics and conflicts and stuff like that. Try and build an organization, set standards, and that is how you don't waste time and and end by showing a quote which has stayed with me all my life, and it is to something to do with the World Cup now. So hopefully we'll win the World Cup, right? Uh, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence is therefore not an habit. It's not a one-time activity. You have to continuously do things. You can't say today I will be truthful and tomorrow I won't be truthful. You have to be there. You can't say today this customer I will be okay, that customer I won't be okay. You work towards it, continuously learn, and therefore it becomes the second part of your life, right? Guys, so that's it, Ronit. I don't know. I don't have further charts. I thought 45 minutes is
Oh, sir, definitely. We
your
enjoyed.
time.
I mean, for me, I have a lot of notes that I've taken, so definitely. And thank you so much for bringing the World Cup flavor now that we all are praying for India to win. So
This
thank you
is
so much
Dhoni.
again.
This is Dhoni
Yeah,
only. I was
yeah.
wondering how to get a Virat, but I didn't have time, so हमने कहा चलो ये
No worries. So we have the other captain Rohit there. So yeah, that
दिखा.
works. So I would request you to, if you can stop sharing your screen so
Yeah.
that yeah, would be great. Thank you. So first of all, sir, thank you so much. 45 minutes just went by like just flew by like 5-10 minutes, because I mean it was a great session, right? We didn't realize how it went. One thing that you actually told, and definitely because the World Cup is on, is that prepare for the World Cup and not for Ranji. So I think that's a great takeaway. I think I was very inspired by that line. So thank you so much, sir.
And always remember that you can be in that Indian team if you want to be. Don't say that beyond me. Somebody will be there in the Indian.
Exactly.
If you have an aim which is like Everest, you will at least land above Aravali, right? But if you aim at Aravali, you will
So
not
true.
reach that place.
So true. So what we'll do is we'll open it up for Q&A. We already have one question from Rakshit. Rakshit, would you like to unmute yourself, raise your hand, and I can unmute you? Rakshit, are you there? Uh, Okay, 1 second. Let me just see. Rakshit, if you can unmute yourself. Okay, maybe some issue out there. So what he mentioned was that uh, how to get mindset when the industry or business. Okay, Rakshit, are you able to unmute yourself? I'll try it for one more time. There's some challenge out there. Okay, maybe an issue from his end. So I'll summarize the question, sir, for you. What Rakshit has mentioned is how to get his mindset when the industry or business he is in has a lot of growth and competition as well. As he starts to feel that he has to change industry, uh, as he's new to the business when there are a lot of big companies in that domain. Maybe you can, sir, just read the question once again. Maybe uh, some way I'm not able to communicate what he has mentioned. Are you able to read that, sir?
Rakshit,
I'll just type it for you, sir. If you can, I've just sent you a message, sir.
Rakshit Hola. Rakshit
Yes,
Hola, right?
yes,
How
yes,
to
yes.
get my mindset when the industry or business I'm in has a lot of growth and competition, as well as I start to feel I have to change industry as a net when there's a lot of big companies in that domain. So I didn't get the question. So is he saying that see, I have changed careers, right? I've changed functions, domains. I can just share from my experience. So I was in FMCG, I was in production. Initially, I was in a manufacturing setup. Then I changed to FMCG, changed to telecom, changed to beverages, changed to technology, service industry. I was president. So I think you can learn in an industry. Learning domain is not, and when we recruit people, we believe domain you can always learn, right? But it is the soft skills become important as you grow up in a career and then look at the potential of that person. So one of the things which we look at in sales, for example, is what skills you have right now and whether you can go to the next two levels, right? Whether you can be a leader tomorrow, etc. So all those things we keep in mind. How do
Okay.
I, if that industry is very competitive and there's growth and
Mm.
competition, how does it matter to you? Yeah, you're learning the maximum there, right? So why do you want to change? As I said, learning if that industry or that competition is there, it is best for you to have those learning cycles, right? Nothing can be
So,
more competitive than telecom.
just
Hmm?
sure. Yeah, definitely. So one cue that I would like to take from this question is that, for example, if I am joining a new industry altogether, right, and that industry is growing exponentially. For example, imagine Geo at the time of 2016. I mean, suddenly that explosion happened, right? People they were all over. How to prep yourself to be ready for that level of work? Because people might be at 5 out of scale of 10 in their productivity, and suddenly the market demands you to be at 12 or 15, right? How do
So
you prep for that? What's the mindset? How do you prep for that?
yeah, you should be wanting to take that job, right? For example, I can tell you, even as Coca-Cola, you had a life, comfortable life. Or you are in Livers, compared to Coke, it was a different life. From a European multinational to an American multinational. And then when you join a telecom industry, it was madness, right? And it was a service industry, you have to work. So you should be ready. I was ready to work for 24 hours, right? Most of the time, the meetings will happen on Saturday, on Sunday, etc. Then when you start enjoying, I'm saying, if you are in the area which you love to do, then you can surmount it. You have to prepare yourself. For example, telecom was a very competitive and a very complicated market compared to a FMCG market in that sense. Here, you have to prepare yourself before you join that industry. You have to read about that industry. You have to talk to people about that industry, learn about this, quickly absorb from people around you, and then start contributing from your area of strength, etc. Right? How you can apply those principles So all the time, all the time, if you're moving from one direction, I mean, sales is fundamentally same, right? You have to focus on your customer. So in various domains or organization, doesn't matter which way you want. It has finally a P&L will be profit and loss, right? Finally, it will be sales. How you reach that customer is different, maybe. You figure out a way based on your learning and experience how you can reach him better. Build a product which is better, which he loves, accepts, right? So there is
Got
onboarding. I think you are asking how to onboard an industry. First of all, your mindset has to be there. You are playing a World Cup, right? And then if you really think that this is why you want to do, then you will prepare yourself. Suddenly, when you become a CEO, you have so much. You have media, you have shareholders shouting on you, your promoters shouting on you. It becomes a different scale altogether, and you have to enjoy it.
got it. Got it, sir. Shubham has a question. Shubham, if you can ask your question.
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. Thank you so much, first of all, to sharing your knowledge. So my question is that I'm working in a edtech startup. It is a very small startup. Only 5 to 7 members are here, and I'm working here as a BDA role. So the thing is that whatever work I'm doing right now, I was doing the same work when I joined the work, but I'm getting paid very well. Every 3 to 4 months, I'm getting a good hike. So should I quit the job and for the changes, because I'm not learning anything new here. I'm doing the same calling to every client. I'm doing the same data every day. So I'm confused. Should I go for the money or should I go for the
So,
learning?
so as I said, as you grow in your life, you will have to start taking decisions and live by it, right? Uh, I can decide for you. I can tell you from my experience what you should be doing. But it is better you take responsibility for your actions. You decide for yourself whether learning is good or money is good now. For me, learning was important in the initial phase of my life because that will ensure that I continue to get money for a long time. I gave you an example of IT people. People are very, very comfortable, right? They could do coding, etc., and they continue to do coding and the same thing. And suddenly a new code will come and they will become irrelevant. Or then after 30, 40 years, the company will say, yaar, iska salary every year is increasing. He is very costly. Let's get some new people, fresh people, more energetic people at half the cost, and then you will be without job. So in my mind, I always wanted to learn new industry, new functions, new things, etc. I was clear that I want to be a P&L head. So I had to learn multiple functions, right? Sales, you have to be expert in couple of functions, right? So you have to be expert in sales, marketing, for example, finance. You have to understand the business very well, right? BNL, you have to be very strong on people front, right? These are certain skill sets which are critical for you to succeed. As I said, the entire premise of this presentation was how you survive for 40 years or 35 years of your life, right? You think you will survive for the next 35, 40 years?
No, sir. I can't do the same work.
तो तो तेरे को खुद ही डिसाइड करना होगा.
बिल्कुल सर, बिल्कुल
Because
सर.
a lot of time I have changed functions or I have not taken a promotion because I wanted to learn, right?
Yes, sir. Thank you
A lot
so
of
much.
people start joining so there are I won't name those companies. There are set of companies which gave me offers with much higher salary. And I was very clear I will not fit into those cultures. So I
Yes,
didn't
yes.
take those roles also. So you
Yeah.
will have to start taking decisions. अभी तक तेरे पिताजी और माताजी तेरे decisions, they're taking your decisions, right? Now you will
Mhm.
have to start taking decisions in your life.
Mhm.
Honestly, I'm
Yes.
being little harsh with your,
No, sir, please,
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 but
please go ahead,
with
sir.
but
you.
you will have
Please
to
go ahead.
you will have to start taking decisions, and
Mhm.
whether it is good or bad decisions, you will have to live by it,
Yes, yes, sir.
and you have to figure out how you. Life is not one. It is always like a boxing game. एक दो बार तो नीचे गिरेगा, but finally you have to win that big war, right? After 12 rounds, you have to win, right? You cannot, one round is not enough. Sometimes you will win, sometimes you will fall down, but you get up and then fight.
Yes, sir. Yes, I got my
Makes
answer.
sense.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks. Thanks, Shubham. So Jerry has a follow-up question or a new question, maybe.
Yeah,
Jerry, if
yeah.
you can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Shubham, for asking. Sorry.
Uh, Thank you, Shubham. Thank you so
I did.
much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for replying.
Yeah, Jerry.
Hi. Yeah, hi sir. How are you?
I'm
So,
fine.
so yeah. So we told me about making the product for the customer, right? So we have been working since 1 year. We already have few customers. So now what want to do is we want to grow. We want to, increase the sales and we want to attract new customers so we can go and pitch the venture capitalist for the fund.
Right.
So that is our goal. So we have already made the product by talking to the customers that are already using our product. Now what we want to do is we want to reach out bigger clients. We want to have bigger organization that have so many people that are doing manual tasks. So, but obviously, if you are a big company and we come up with a product, we tell you that you can cut off 20 people within your organization that will save you cost. That is a good thing, but there's a drawback as well to it, right? लाइक मेरे को अभी 20 लोग को काटना पड़ेगा बाद में अगर नहीं चला ये या चला डिपेंडिंग ऑन दैट आई हैव टू स्पेक्युलेट इफ द प्रोडक्ट इज गुड और नॉट सो आई जस्ट वांटेड टू आस्क यू if you were in my shoes how would you try to reach out new customers and how would you try to increase the sales.
So you're saying you got a product market fit. Now you want to grow the business, right? So you have to figure out that you have to identify your customer segment. You have to figure out similar kind of customers,
Tell now the
and you have to be confident of your product, right? It will work. If it is working with a few customers, it will working with others also, right? So your confidence, if you are yourself unsure of your product, how will a customer buy from you, right? So you have to say that you are confident of your product. You will have to go to similar kind of product. For example, if you are selling, if you made a product for your small segment, SME segment, MME segment, you then cannot go and sell to a. So you have to identify where the problem is. Is the problem in the route to market? Whether how you are reaching that customer is a problem, what you're communicating is a problem, or your product is a problem, right? As a sales professional, you have to figure out what needs to work, and everything needs to come together to make it work, right? It is like a cricketing shot. अभी हम cricket
yeah
fever में हैं. So we are in cricket. You have to have that right bat, right stance, right cut, right, and then you can score that 4 or 6, right? So
yeah
I think if I were in your shoes, I will, if your work product is working in a certain customers, which is very good, are they paid customers? Are they just users? Are they free users? Go to them, convert them into paid users. Go to others, demonstrate that these people are buying and how much savings that they are having, etc., or whatever benefits they are having. Then it that journey will have to start here. And then as you grow and then you expand your product to a larger customer base or a bigger customer, then you start going there. Selling to a small firm compared to a large firm is a different process, right? And you must have learned about it here, right? A large company, and when you're selling a B2B sales, you have to go through, convince a lot of people who are technical people, users, etc., etc. And finally, the decision maker you reach. The smaller firm, and maybe the owner or the CEO will take a call directly, right? If she's and how many people. So I don't know the background of your product, etc. But you will have to figure out if you are saying that you already have a user and those are not free users. It's not your friends and family, right? They're paid users and they are paying money to buy a product and they are seeing benefits and they continue to use your product and then you go to similar kind of customers, right? India mein to there's no dearth of population and companies. Right? The best thing you have is population. Hmm? Jerry, am I making sense? I mean, your mic is mute.
Yeah, Jerry, you can unmute yourself.
yeah thank you so much sir it totally makes sense now. uh, Thank you so much for sharing this with me.
You have to understand segment selling and all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you're selling to a Mercedes car customer and a Maruti car customer, there are different kinds of selling, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to
Yeah.
understand your customer very well, right?
Mhm. Okay. And what are the good questions that I should ask to myself to understand the customer much better?
Ask the customer, उसका need क्या है? First of all, you have to start with what problem is he having, right? When you're building a product, I'm assuming that you're talking about building a product. So you start with asking him, what is the pain he's having? And if there is a theoretically there is a solution, will he take that solution? And then you ask him the counters of the problem. How is he solving that problem right now? See, only when I have a problem and I don't have a solution. Imagine book my show, right? It was such a pain to stand in a queue and buy a ticket for a picture hall. I can sit down and buy a ticket. It was such a pain to buy a railway ticket. IRCTC came and solved that problem, right? So in your technical solution, you have to figure out what that benefit. Today I can order food sitting at home on Zomato, right? So that's a big benefit. I don't have to stand in a queue and eat what I want. Today in Gurgaon, I can order food from Calcutta also, or I can do from Hyderabad also, right? So all these benefit, what tangible benefit you are solving for the customer, and there's a need and there's a market for it. That market is growing. Don't make an imaginary. So if you think the problem, understand the counters of the problem. Is it an urgent problem? Why is that opportunity come? Who was solving it? If it is an easy problem, now somebody would have solved it by now, right? So identify
So,
that problem and then start executing around it, right?
there is a competitor for us, not in Indian market. There is a competitor abroad. So it's a software company specially made for B2B businesses. Now, if you have worked in production, you know that there are so many things that you are getting from the vendors. And right now in Indian ecosystem, everything is done on papers. So if I'm getting a material of 10 kilos of rice or something like, say, you're in a film production, there are crew members that are coming on the set, there are inventories, there are vanity bags. All of those things are done on papers right now. They keep track of it on paper. Then they transfer that into an Excel sheet. And then the big paper bill comes to you. You manually enter that paper bill information into an Excel sheet. You have to keep track of how much are you spending, how much have you spent so far, what all bills are paid and not paid. So there is a competitor called Webbook that is a American company. In Indian market, there is no company like us right now. So we're trying to reach out more production houses. So some of the smaller production houses that we are working and that are paying to us is Mind and Fusion Production House, and there are the Streamline Production House. What we want to target is bigger production house like Dharma Production House, Red Films, or let's say TVF, Total Viral Fever Production House. That's what we are targeting at.
पहले तो आपको कस्टमर का समझना पड़ेगा नीड व्हाट इज हिज नीड यू अज्यूमिंग दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम to go and solve that, understand that problem, build that confidence in that customer that you can solve this problem, then supply that, right?
Yeah.
uh, and and then you have to arrive at a revenue model, how you will make money, how they will make money, what benefits they get, etc. Your business model. Business model, you have to validate your idea, you have to validate your go to market. Startup is a interesting but a lot of effort.
Yeah, a lot of that. Good.
The passion, so 20 times more passionate.
Thank you so much, sir.
And I think the best person I can tell you is Tarun here. I don't know whether he's on this call, but
No, he's not there.
he's not on the call. I think you will learn so much from him. Yeah. And the kind of effort he used to put in to build IM jobs is phenomenal.
We'll convey that, sir. Definitely.
Rene, I know that. I know. So much of effort he has put in. And
True.
he is a role model. If you ask me, I'm not joking to please him, but he is. जितना मैंने उसको जाना.
Great. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you so much for your question. We have Dilip who wants to ask you a question. Sir, Dilip, please go ahead.
So thank you very much for this wonderful session. So my question is like, when you joined a new company, when you change your profile, and then you suddenly find that it's a new product and it's a new customers, and I want to know how was your approach towards this new market, and how did you cope up with all these things and you continue with this new sector. So and can you just explain us how was your journey towards a new sector when you joined the new company?
When you join a new company, typically somebody must have seen something in you before they hired you, right? And you obviously contribute in that area first. But at the same time, you learn the product very fast. You understand your boss is the biggest supporter. I mean, in that sense, within the next first 15 days, you should go to your boss
Okay.
and agree these are the things I will try and achieve. I will learn about this. I will set this up. I will do this, etc.
Okay.
Understand from the environment. Understand who will teach you what, and then start on that journey. And I found preparing myself before joining the company is also. When you're preparing for the interview also, right? You prepare that
Yes.
industry and what company is. You also, when you're pitching for that role, you pitch what your strengths are, why you think you can contribute in that role.
Yeah.
Then you continue on that journey. There are lovely books, 90 days, etc. For I don't know what is that book. I have that book.
First 90 days of
First
your
90
new,
days.
yeah.
So those are like classic books when you are changing functions within an organization, when you're getting into another geography in that organization, or any transition which is happening in your life, right? Or you're changing jobs, or you're changing location. It is lovely text which tells you what needs to be done in a theoretical manner based on a lot of experience. But in your life, I have found that if your principles are right, if you know your subject well, I mean, the company is taking more risk than you are. They have hired you. So they want you to succeed, right?
Yeah.
Rather than you being successful. I mean, especially in a very senior position. When I joined Monster, I तो कुछ भी नहीं बता था technology.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
now so I used to go every week and sit down with the technical team, technology team, learn about everything on technology, right? And then read about everything in the world, what is happening, etc. So what is AI, what is ML, etc. There are so many free courses now. There are so many journals, etc. Have a good habits. I mean, हमारा क्या है कि यार टाइम हमारा रील्स में निकल जाता है. We spend so much time looking at reels and
Yeah.
and TVs and distractions भी बहुत है ना, mobiles and all of that, right? So if you can figure out how, if you have a strategy in mind कि मैं इस डोमेन में घुसूंगा, इसमें पढ़ूंगा, तो करना करना तो पड़ेगा यार,
Okay.
मेहनत करना पड़ेगा. And those softer skills, मैंने क्या होता है ना, lot of people, especially in the engineering, etc. I just interacted with a guy. He was always first in the class, and suddenly when he joined an organization, तो वो बोला यार तेरे को कुछ आता नहीं है. He was so dejected. अभी तक वो हमेशा अच्छा था. He was doing well, etc., etc. Then his boss first interaction. I said, this is what is going to happen. This is reality, right? Till now you are in the support. You are doing well, etc. होगा ये सब तो होगा. Take it in the stride, right? And be comfortable with ambiguities, uncertainties. It's okay. Figure out your way, and you will do well. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. You can always learn. If I can learn, I think anybody can learn.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you so much, Dilip. Thank you so much, sir. So, before we wind up the session, I have few questions for you, as I mentioned, as a rapid fire. So, let me make you a little uncomfortable and also pick your brain on a few things. Sure. Okay. So, the first question: what are the traits of a successful sales professional?
So you have to have positive outlook. You have to have empathy. You will have to have thinking, strategic thinking. You should be a bit extrovert. We used to think, tell you, I mean, you have to have the thinking ability, and then you have to have good people skills, influencing skills, selling skills. You have to be a teamwork if you're playing in an organization. If you're an individual, that's separate. But if you're in an organization, you have to have the teamwork. You have to have that action bias. Will fail, right? And and you have to be customer oriented. I mean, you will always have to put yourself in the customer shoes and think why he is buying you, why he is supporting you, have respect for your customers, and all the things which you should have strategic skills and execution skills.
Got it. Nowadays, a lot of calls or sales calls happen over telephone, right? They speak to the customers mostly on the phone or digitally over Zoom call. So, what's your best way to convince clients over a call or a Zoom call?
I think the best way, if I'm a customer, if I get a call, I'll only listen to that call if it is solving a problem which I am having. I mean, I don't need a loan, and you call me up to ask for a loan, I will probably not give you time, right? I already have a credit card. You're trying to sell me a credit card, so I need to really qualify my leads well, and then make a call. And random call is, is it's almost luck by chance, right? I mean, you fire 100 shots and maybe you get one shot. But the best way is to really identify the customer need and try to fulfill that. So if I know that you're looking for a house, and then I call you up saying there's a good opportunity here, etc., I think the call will mature faster. If I know,
Got
for
it.
example, uh, I have to sell a job portal, I know there is a requirement, I reach out to the right person and give an offer, I will reach out. Because
Got it.
otherwise, so you typically search well. I know that, especially in the outside world, at India. They have the leads, they identify the leads very well, they study about that company, reach out to the right person, send an email, follow with a call, etc., etc. And I think then the sale happens.
Got it. What's your best objection handling technique? Yours personally?
Uh, so I try to be rational. I use data to convince a person. Supposing he's
Okay.
saying I don't need it, etc. I have
Okay.
found that I use data, when I cut down a lot of emotions, really show the value to that customer, that person. And so a lot of people will say, why should I buy, for example, ASL, why should I buy your line and there's a Airtel for that? So within your locality, this is a customer. If you buy, I knew my customer, so I knew his need. So my customer was people who are coming to Delhi from the neighboring cities. I knew this person has a need to call his STD at his hometown. I'll give him a late. She can't give me. I have to figure out any objections to be rational, and you have to be truthful also. You not you have to always imagine that that customer will come back to you, and you can't just say make one time sell and get it. ऐसा नहीं
Got
होता है
it.
कि कस्टमर इज बेवकूफ होते हैं. That thinking should not be there कि
I understand. I completely understand. So one thing that we have realized is communication is very important for sales professionals. But as you grow up the ladder, your business communication skill should also improve. So, what's your suggestion to people listening today? How to improve business communication?
Business communication is important, very good, because so what I do is when I send a mail for business communication, I read it 2, 3 times, and it shows that you are careful in your. It shows your values, right? It shows if your communication is poor, then how will the customer? If you are very shabby with your communication, then the customer will get that feeling you're shabby with your product or service or whatever you. So you have to be a little bit professional about it. You have to be. I'm very careful when I'm sending SMS or emails, etc. I do it when I'm communicating with that person. Some things like be on time, uh, don't have too many hazy charts, etc. Just focus on what the customer needs. Listen to that, active listening. Listen to that person first.
Got it.
Those things are
Uh,
one.
got it, sir. So one thing that people struggle, and let me ask you upfront, how to manage your boss in sales?
So you have to understand your boss. Like for example, uh, one is uh, one is if you know your boss's strength and weakness. So I knew, for example, one boss, he was very weak with handling people. So I said, I will do that handling for you, right? Or our boss was uncomfortable in making some analysis, etc. So I will do that and compliment him. Right? Try to ensure that he's successful also, right? And not do break his trust by bitching about him and all of that. But yeah, you will have to manage your boss well. You have to listen to that. If you have committed something to your boss, you will have to do that. And if you cannot do it, you should be upfront about it and be ready to listen. I think managing the boss is critical. Not
Got it.
many times we have a choice in choosing our bosses.
True. True. I understand. So, because we discussed about managing your boss, uh, any favorite boss or reporting manager whom you can recall who had the most impact in your life, in your career?
Many. I was counting the other day. There are 28 bosses. Some for 1 week to 3 years. You generally remember the bosses who have made a bad impact. The good ones have really made an impact by their value system, by the way they guided you, and the way they handle their teams, etc. They supported you. There have been many examples. So my boss, they used to trust me with certain work, and I will never break their trust or whatever they do at the important things. Right from selling a company to anything. So bosses, if the boss is able to inspire you and try to bring the best out of you, and the bosses who are confident, you should always have in levers, for example, surrounded by people who are better than you, right? And
Got it.
then your life is easy, right? If all my subordinates are better than me, then it's better. And if some people want everybody to be yes men, then that is problem.
Agreed.
You have to manage conflict, you have to manage all of that. People who have been able to inspire me, I think those are the best bosses I remember.
Got it. Got it. So, what are the books that you feel that every sales professional should read?
Yeah, I mean, sales related to many domain related functions
Yeah,
to
I
also
mean, sales.
those, but those 5, 10 books that everybody should read. I mean, in terms of keep telling everybody. One of the things I used to do is read a book and every Tuesday morning half day वो पूरे team sales team को बुला के उनको it was not compulsory and I told them कि तेरा appraisal कुछ नहीं होगा but you can come and hear me out etc. It was more for my own learning. So 7 habits was one of them, for example. Managing or Leading Change was another, which is a good book, which I remember. And there are so many books there. Actually, I have a library of books.
Oh, awesome.
So, books, personal related books or business related, how to handle challenging situations, have always fascinated me, right? And I think you get a lot of practical examples.
Got it. Got it. So last question before we end the rapid fire is that what are the habits that a sales professional or a business professional should inculcate outside work to have a great career?
As I said, knowledge के साथ साथ skills भी होना चाहिए, soft skills होना चाहिए. I spoke all these things I spoke about in my presentation. You should have you have a mentality to learn all the time. You have a customer orientation. You believe in your customer. You should go with a knack of solve a problem and not prove your point, right? And many times we are fighting with our customers. And I'm right, you are wrong. ऐसे नहीं होना चाहिए. We should try to understand the customer. We should so for the customer orientation and for your own team, you should have that all those traits, etc. You should use data increasingly for making things. You should be aware of what changes are happening around the world and implement that. We're willing to change, willing to adapt, etc. These things, everything, I think. Just sales, na, is a complete person. And I think even in life it helps you. I think
True.
very different from what I was 10 years ago, what I was 20 years ago, etc. And I really enjoy it.
Got it. Got it. So on that note, sir, thank you so much once again. I think you have picked up examples of your own career. You have given analogies from the cricket, boxing, and we really thoroughly enjoyed those examples because it helped us understand a lot of key things that will help us. So once again, sir, thank you so much for taking that effort for the masterclass. And yeah, we look forward to maybe host you once again for other topics as well because it was great listening to you.
I love interacting, and thank you for the opportunity. I think thank you for the entire wonderful question and answer. I really
Sure.
enjoyed myself. So thank you very much, and thanks to
Sure.
you and Ronit and
Sure.
or whatever.
Sure. Thank you
Very
so
much.
much, sir.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much. Look forward.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir.
Really
So
make some difference.
definitely, sir. Definitely. I mean, one thing that I feel is that taking notes and then reflecting back, right? I think you can really vary the session. So thank you so much for that. Pleasure, sir. So everyone, thank you so much for joining. People who are watching us live, let me help you understand that every week we invite industry leaders so that they can share their experience and you can learn from them. So keep an eye on social media platforms so that you can register for the event and learn from people who have been there, done that, right? So once again, this is Ronit from the marketing team of Juno School of Business. It was wonderful hosting Mr. Mukherjee today, and we have the calendar in place for the next month as well. So looking forward to have everyone for the other sessions. Thank you so much once again. This is Ronit signing off.
Thank you very much, Ronit. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.